of the kids laughing in the background. He had to wipe away a tear from his eye. A little voice came on the phone, said, "Daddy, when you coming home?" He said the first thing that came to his mind, "I'm already there. Take a look around. I'm the sunshine in your hair. I'm the shadow on the ground. I'm the whisper in the wind. I'm your imaginary friend. And I know I'm in your prayers. Oh, I'm already there."
Good morning. We would like to welcome faculty, students, visitors, and especially our veterans and currently serving members of our armed forces to the Pryor High School Veterans Day Assembly. At this time, we would like for all the veterans and currently serving military who are present this morning to please stand and remain standing.
Thank you for your service. Would everyone please stand for the presenting of the colors?
Color guard, attention. Forward march. Color guard, halt. Prepare to post the colors. Will everyone please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? Salute, pledge. I pledge of allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Color guard, post the colors.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free, and the home of the brave, home of the brave?
It is my honor and privilege to introduce our speaker today. Sergeant Major Kirk began his military career in the U.S. Army Reserve on September 1996 as a military policeman. Please help me welcome Sergeant Major Kirk to the stage.
Good morning. All right, just a little bit about myself. I made sure that they cut out my bio because no one needs to hear 2 pages of my life in the military, so that I could yield more time to just speaking to you. This is not my first time addressing a high school, and I thoroughly enjoy it. I would much prefer to speak to the future of the United States than to my own peers and above at this point in my life. And what I would like to do today, after I talk a little bit about just kind of where I come from and who I am, is the stage of life that you are in right now through the lens of the life that I've led and what could be in store for you moving forward. Because every decision that you make from this point forward will affect your life, good, bad, or indifferent. Bad decisions can change the trajectory of your life as much as good decisions can change the trajectory of your life. So a little bit about me. My name is Brant Kirk. I don't go by my first name, which is Jason. I was born and raised in small metropolis of Antlers, Oklahoma, in southeast Oklahoma, if you don't know where that is. And I was a very active teenager. I was in the band my entire, from 5th grade, starting out at cornet, all the way through senior in high school, where I played the quads and the timpani and the bass drum. Marched in the band at halftime. Yes, got made fun of because I was a starter on the football team and I took off my pads and I marched instead of going into the locker room. I was in FFA, AG, Bearcats Against Drugs president. If there was anything to be involved in, I did it growing up. I had my own cattle where I had to be up at 5 o'clock in the morning to go feed cattle before I went to school. I had show pigs, you name it, I did it. And I had a great life in high school. When it was time to make a decision what I was going to do moving on after high school, I chose the military and college both. My family has a very long history in the military. My grandfathers were both Navy. My dad was Navy. My uncles were all Navy. My aunt was Army. All my cousins were Marine Corps, and I could keep going. But the point was that I wanted to serve this great nation just like the rest of my family, not just because they gave me college money to go to college at Oklahoma State University. Go Pokes, by the way. Good, bad, or indifferent, I married an OU Sooner, so she's balanced out our house a lot. She's a better person than me. I am married for now almost 14 years. I have 2 wonderful children, Gracie, who's 8 years old, and Jason, who is 4. And I'm a very blessed man to be where I am today. I am still in the Army as of today, and I am at the end of my career. I have been in for over 26 years, and by the time I'm done, it will be almost 27 years. I am in what they call a career skills program that the Department of Defense authorizes for transitioning soldiers. So I was able to leave the Pentagon, which is where my last duty station is. I'm still assigned there, but I don't work there now, and come home, which is Oklahoma for me, and start my next transition. So I am studying now to become a financial advisor for First Command Financial as I transition into retirement. I will actually fly back to DC next year, and I will retire and then come home and be a civilian, something that I never thought I would see again. As long as I've been in the Army, and I'm actually looking forward to it. I don't have to worry about what my hair looks like. I don't have to shave anymore. Only when I'm at work do I have a dress code. So a lot of positives. Another thing is my family doesn't have to move anymore. To break it down simply, my family has followed me all over the United States, and we have moved 5 times in 7 years. So my little children and my wife are worn out, and they're ready for a break. And so I'm giving them a forever break where they can build their life in one place and not have to move all over as they grow older, because it's very difficult for kids. Although it does make them stronger and more resilient, it's very difficult to constantly uproot and move, especially when, excuse me, like we were, moved after 11 months, moved after 23 months, moved after 23 months. You know, my children have never lived in any one place more than 23 months, and they're 4 and 8. So they are troopers. They have never complained, and they are great children, and they will be better because of it. But now, enough about me. I'm going to talk about you and everything that you do from this point forward. And what you do from this point forward in your life is about you and for you to build your own legacy, to build your own family if you so choose, to build your own empire. Maybe you're that person that wants to build generational wealth. Maybe you're someone that is taking over a family business with pride. You don't have to go to college. You have a trade, you have a skill, and you're going to carry that on. Point being, it doesn't matter what you want to do, it matters at what you put into that. For example, I wanted to go to college. That was something my mother wanted for our entire family from the time we were little kids. She put college to the side so that she could be a mother full-time. Even though she had a full-time job, she still raised us because my dad, between traveling jobs and the Navy, he was all over the world. He spent 18 out of 24 months away from us between my senior year and my first year of college because of the Navy. And my mother wanted to raise us. So her goal was all of her children to go to college and graduate. And all 3 of us graduated from Oklahoma State. 2 out of the 3 of us went on to get master's degrees, myself from University of Louisville and my little sister from Tahlequah. So we fulfilled her dream for her by going to college. But the point of that story is, before I ever left high school, which I didn't know this until after I was gone, my high school counselor told my family, Brant is not college material. So kind of a kick in the gut to hear that. I didn't have the best grades, but I definitely didn't have anywhere near bad grades. Didn't like math, didn't like a lot of subjects, but I was loyal and dedicated to my education, so I gave it my all. And believe me, college was not easy. I struggled through college, but I got through it after 5 years to get a 4-year degree, and changing my mind multiple times from agriculture economics to business management to whatever the case may be. So for all of you, everything you decide to do, you have to put your whole heart into it and not listen to the noise of those that are going to tell you you can't do it. I've lost count of how many times I've had someone tell me, you can't do that. And yes, you can say it's a little bit of pride, but I proved them wrong, because it's not about them, it's about you and what legacy you want to leave behind. What do you want to build? What do you want to become? And that doesn't matter for anybody else but you. And I want you to go after your dreams. My family allowed me to dabble in everything. You know, I was quick study in the things I wanted to do. I was a slow, if not failure, in everything I didn't want to do. But once I find something that I'm passionate about and something that I want to do, then I go after it and I obtain it. And that's what I'm doing right now. I want to be a financial advisor, and it's going to be probably one of the toughest things I've ever done in my life, because I am a fast learner, but I'm a slow study. So I am going to struggle. Even after all these years, going to college, going to graduate programs, I will still struggle to become what I want to be. But I'm not going to allow those struggles to define me or to make me give up. And all of you, whether you are, is it only freshman through senior in here? Yeah. So all of you, it does not matter what grade you're in. You may change your mind 5 times. It doesn't matter. Just don't change your mind after you've already completed your degree to start all over. But if you happen to be that person like I was, you're still going to be okay. It's going to be more expensive, but you'll be okay. And that's what life is. Life will ebb and flow. None of us are promised tomorrow. None of us are promised an education, because it has to be done by you. And I encourage you, no matter what, to keep pushing, keep working, and have an accountability partner. one of the things that was never really taught to me growing up. I grew up in church. I had a lot of strong Christians and leaders and parents and friends around me, but we never focused on accountability. And when I say accountability, someone that is willing to tell you when you're wrong, tell you the things that you don't want to hear, but you need to hear. Because my lack thereof accountability got me in trouble and tripped me up and changed what I started with, the trajectory of my life. Now, you could argue I turned out okay because I have a phenomenal family, a great home. I get to retire in Oklahoma finally, and all of these things, but there are some things that will follow you the rest of your life, all based on poor decisions and no accountability. And I'm not saying that, screwing up is a bad thing, because honestly, I would rather mess up and learn from it than never mess up and not even know how it is to learn and grow. Because I sometimes wonder how my parents got to where they are today. I can't find any flaw in their life. None. They were high school sweethearts, have always had great jobs, took care of us, very successful. My dad is so intelligent. I don't know how I came from him. It's kind of odd to me. But the point being is, I'm like, I don't know how they got to where they are to be so professional and loving and all of the things of this world without messing up. I've messed up so much that taught me more than ever. But it doesn't have to be that way. If you're going to mess up, let it be just because you're trying something that maybe is just not really intended for you. Not you go out and you make mistakes that get you in trouble like I did earlier in life. And you have that accountability partner with yourself, and you stay in touch with each other, and you keep each other on the straight and narrow, and life will be so much simpler. Listen to your teachers. I had some of the most phenomenal teachers in the world, and I'm telling you, this is not a political statement. I think I could run for a public office just on the premise of raising money for teachers, and I'd probably win, because I don't know a teacher on the face of the planet that is paid for their worth. Because I'm going to kind of scratch out this myth about teachers. They say teachers only teach because they can't do. I believed that when I was a kid until I grew up and realized that teachers are the backbone of our society. How are you ever going to learn and grow if you don't have someone to teach you and get you where you need to be? I have the utmost respect for teachers, and they have been and maybe always will be underpaid, but the good ones are not here for the money. They're here because they are changing the future of the United States every day of their life, and they get little to no credit. So I want to thank each and every teacher, administrator, everyone involved in this high school for what you pour into these young adults that are about to take a path that they've never seen in their life the moment they leave the doors of Pryor High School. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for your time, and God bless America.
You're in a better place, I've heard 1,000 times. And at least 1,000 times I've rejoiced for you. But the reason why I'm broken, the reason why I cry, is how long must I wait to be with you? I close my and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. Help me, Lord, 'cause I don't understand your ways. The reason why I wonder if I'll ever know. But even if you showed me, the hurt would be the same. 'Cause I'm still here, so far away from home. I close my eyes and I see your face. If a home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now. In Christ, there are no goodbyes. And in Christ, there is no end. So I'll hold on to Jesus with all that I have to see you again, to see you again. And I close my eyes and I see your face. If home's where my heart is, then I'm out of place. Lord, won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? Won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? Won't you give me strength to make it through somehow? I've never been more homesick than now.
Please welcome Claudia Cummings, Gracie Vivian, Ocean Hoover, Leah White, Lily Ortiz, Janet Crow, Macy Chronister, and Bethany Craig to the stage to sing How Do You Tell a Veteran Thank You?
How do you tell a veteran thank you? What do you say to show you care in every way?
Today, U.S. citizens honor all U.S. service members with Veterans Day on November 11th, but in many other parts of the world, the day is known as Remembrance Day, a day set aside to remember military personnel who have lost their lives in the war. Established by King George V in 1919, Remembrance Day evolved out of Armistice Day, which marked the end of hostilities in World War I in 1918. After World War II, the day was renamed Remembrance Day, although Armistice Day is still celebrated on the same day. In the United Kingdom, Canada, France, South Africa, the U.S., Bermuda, Ireland, New Zealand, and Australia, citizens pause and observe 1 or 2 moments of silence at 11 a.m. to remember the fallen. The United States rebranded its November 11th celebration after the Korean War to honor all U.S. veterans, living and dead. In conjunction with the spirit of Remembrance Day worldwide, many wear a simple red poppy on the lapel, reminiscent of the red poppies that were among the first plants to bloom in the devastated battlefields of northern France and Belgium. The connection with the poppy and the fallen soldier was solidified with one of the era's most famous poems, In Flanders Fields, written by Canadian physician Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae. McCrae was reportedly inspired to write the poem after presiding over the funeral of his friend and fellow soldier, 22-year-old Lieutenant Alexis Helmer, who died in the Second Battle of Ypres. The poem gives voice to those soldiers buried in the battlefield, pleading with survivors to take up the torch of their fight and to remember them, even though red poppies now cover the battlefield. Today, the red poppy remains a popular outward sign of remembrance in November. Before I recite the poem, I'd like to give a quick message to my dad. I love you, and I'm very proud to call you my father, and happy Veterans Day. In Flanders Fields by John McCrae. In Flanders Fields the poppies blow, between the crosses, row on row, that mark our place, and in the sky, the larks, still bravely singing, fly, scarce heard amid the guns below. We are the dead, short days ago. We lived, felt dawn, saw sunset glow, loved and were loved, and now we lie in Flanders Fields. Take up our quarrel with the foe, to you from failing hands we throw. The torch be yours to hold it high, if ye break faith with us who die. We shall not sleep, though poppies grow in Flanders Fields. Thank you.
On Veterans Day, we honor all
who answered to a service call, soldiers young and soldiers old,
fought for freedom, brave and bold. Some have lived,
while others died, and all of them deserve our pride.
We're proud of all the soldiers who
kept thinking of red, white, and blue.
They fought for us and all our rights.
They fought through many days and nights.
And though we may not know each name, we thank all veterans just the same.
From Pryor High School, thank you.
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 Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, and happy Veterans Day.
Thank you for your service.
Next, we would like to honor our teachers that have served. Mr. Cash Devers, Mr. Shay Jefferson, Mr. Dottie Martin, Dr. Joseph Willis, Mr. Hayden Harmon, Mr. Jason Simpson, and Mr. Joe Harden. Thank you.
It is my pleasure to call to the stage the amazing Pryor High School students who have already made the sacrifice and commitment to our country's freedom by enlisting in a branch of the armed forces. Please come to the stage when I say your name. We have Bo Raymond and Brody Ward of the National Guard, and Sebastian Fawcett, Samantha Cavan, and Michael Ricketts of the Marines.
I came by today to see you. Oh, I had to let you know. If I knew the last time that I held you was the last time, I'd have held you and never let go. Oh, it's kept me awake nights wondering. I lie in the dark just asking why. I've always been told you won't be called home until it's your time. I guess heaven was needing a hero, somebody just like you, brave enough to stand up for what you believe and follow it through. When I try to make it make sense in my mind, the only conclusion I come to is a heaven was needing a hero like you. I remember the last time I saw you. Oh, you held your head up proud. I laughed inside when I saw how you were standing out in the crowd. You're such a part of who I am. Now that part will just be void. No matter how much I need you now, heaven needed you more. 'Cause a heaven was needing a hero, somebody just like you, you.
Please join me in prayer. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for this day and for the opportunity to come together and celebrate all who have served our country. We give thanks to those veterans who laid down their lives for our freedom. Today, we just ask that you be with all past and present veterans, along with their families. May their dedication and honor never be forgotten. In Jesus' mighty name, I pray. Amen.